Let me ask you something, how many times have you seen a club captain, under contract until 2029, being courted by two top-tier European teams while their own manager openly says they won't block a transfer? It's wild, right? This isn't just about Cristian Romero, it's about the absurdity of modern football transfers, where loyalty is a myth and every player is a commodity. And yet, here we are. Atletico Madrid are circling like vultures, Inter Milan are stuck in a bureaucratic nightmare, and Tottenham? They're caught between their bloated defense and a captain who's basically been handed a get-out-of-jail-free card. Let me break this down because this story is a masterclass in how football's transfer machine grinds away, indifferent to human drama. First, let's talk about Atletico. They've been drooling over Romero for ages, and now they've got the financial flexibility to make a move. Why? Because they're selling defenders left and right, Ruggieri to Villa, Molina to Roma. It's like they're doing a full squad overhaul, and Romero's the cherry on top. But here's what's fascinating, Atletico isn't just chasing a player, they're chasing a symbol. Romero's leadership, his Argentine pedigree, his ability to anchor a defense, it's all the stuff that makes a club like Atletico tick. They're not just buying a centre-back, they're buying a narrative of resilience and tactical discipline. And honestly, that's what makes this transfer so much more than a numbers game. Now, let's pivot to Inter Milan. They're in the mix too, but they're stuck in a no-man's land. They need to sell players to fund the deal, but who's going to want to leave a club like Inter? It's a paradox. Their wage structure is a mess, and Romero's salary expectations are probably sky high. What's wild is that Inter's interest feels almost desperate. They're not just competing with Atletico, they're competing with the idea of Romero leaving Spurs altogether. And that's where De Zerbi's comments come in. This guy, the new manager, basically said, if you want to leave, I won't stop you. But know this, you were one of the best centre-backs in the world under me. That's not just a quote, it's a blueprint for how managers are forced to navigate these situations. They're not the ones in control, the money is. And De Zerbi's honesty? It's refreshing, but also terrifying. It shows how little power a manager really has when it comes to retaining talent. Here's the deeper layer, Spurs have this weird contradiction. They signed Van Hag and Senesi this summer, yet they're letting Romero walk. It's like they're trying to build a fortress but can't decide if they want to keep the gatekeeper. And why? Because Romero's contract expires in 2029, but he's already been made captain. That's not just a title, it's a statement. He's the face of the team, and yet they're letting him go. It raises a question, is Spurs' hierarchy more focused on short-term financial gains than long-term identity? Or is this just the inevitable result of a club that's been in chaos for years? Either way, it's a lose-lose scenario. If they let him go, they lose a leader. If they keep him, they're stuck with a bloated defense and no clarity. And let's not forget the bigger picture. This isn't just about one player, it's about how football has become a global auction house. Players are no longer tied to clubs, they're tied to contracts, clauses, and the whims of billionaires. Romero's situation is a microcosm of that. He's not just a centre-back, he's a brand. And brands don't stay in one place forever. What makes this story so compelling is that it's not just about the money, it's about the human element. How does Romero feel? Is he ready to leave a club he's been at for years? And if he does leave, what does that say about Spurs' ability to retain talent? Personally, I think this is a turning point. If Spurs can't hold on to their leaders, they'll keep hemorrhaging talent. And that's not just bad for the club, it's bad for the fans. Because at the end of the day, we're not just watching transfers, we're watching the soul of a club being sold piece by piece.